People like hearing you do things they can't see in the background, right?
Sure.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm Monkey's Jack. Say hi, Jack.
Hi, everybody. Wait, there's people watching this?
There are. There's a couple of folks here.
Oh my God, I feel so naked.
I feel seen.
People are watching me. I always feel like somebody's watching me.
Oh, man. How you doing today, man?
Pretty good. A little tired, but wired at the same time. Watching the cat try and catch that goddamn mouse that's running around here.
Dude, I went to sleep yesterday at like 4 o'clock and slept till 12:30. I actually feel pretty good today.
Holy shit.
I am what they call well rested, I think. I don't experience it too often, so I'm not quite sure that's what I'm feeling.
Are you sure you're even awake right now?
I'm not. This could be a fever dream. Let me get something on the screen so I know when my internet cuts out on me. This is what we're going to be talking about anyway, Jack. This is the Asmongold's take. And I want to be fair to Asmongold here because it's not just his take. There's a lot of people that have this kind of take. And I'm only using him as an example because he's a big creator and maybe more people will watch.
That's fair. That's just good marketing.
I'm not going to lie to people. I'll just tell them how it is.
Yeah, it's ironic because I was watching an Asmongold video when you sent the link.
I wonder if it's the one we're going to watch in a couple of minutes.
No, it was about fat chicks.
Oh, no, that's definitely not that one.
Yeah, no, he's been on and off the TV for the last 2 days. Him and Penguin Zero. For some reason, I thought they were like related somehow because they kind of look alike.
Well, one is Internet Jesus and the other one is South Park Jesus.
Oh, I was starting to think Asmongold might actually be the dude from the old Geico commercials. The caveman.
Oh, gotcha. No. Look at him and tell me he does not look like South Park's Jesus. He
kind of does, yeah.
He should be getting a kickback from Trey and Matt. They just got a fat $1.5 billion payday from Viacom or whoever still owns them.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, Asmon, you should be hitting them up for copyright infringement of your likeness.
Yeah, Asmongold's kind of one of those odd creators that like I agree with about half of his takes.
Yes.
So probably a little more actually. But sometimes he just says something and I'm like, how the fuck did you come to that conclusion, dude?
Yes.
Like, seriously.
Which is where we are tonight, because I'm with you on that. I watch Asmongold, and most of the time I agree with him. But I disagree with him more than I disagree with a lot of other people that I watch.
Yeah.
So I probably agree with him 55, 60% of the time, and the rest I'm just like, huh? And that's the case tonight, because let's just read his tweet here. We're going to watch a video that's related to this as well.
Oh, videos, yay.
But he tweeted out, Internet Real ID is inevitable, especially for social media. Denying this might feel good, but it's a lie, and you know it. First of all, it's not inevitable. It's only inevitable if people keep going, it's inevitable. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh, look at you with your time-stored psych terms.
I know, right? Ain't I good? Ain't I good? So smart, too.
As words good.
Do you remember, what was that initiative that they were trying to push when Obama became president? It was supposedly, making the internet. The wording of it made it sound like it was to make the internet free of censorship and shit. And if you actually read it, it was like draconian free speech restrictions and all kinds of nonsense. Anybody remember the name of that shit?
Is that some net neutrality type shit?
Yes, that's it. The net neutrality shit. People thought that was inevitable too. And it almost became a thing until people went, no. You can say no to this shit. Anyway,
unless you're Australian, then you're kind of fucked.
Yeah, true. What isn't inevitable is private companies having access to our public records. The best solution is a government authentication token that only verifies info.
No.
Elon responded to him and said, government is much worse than corporations. And he goes on to say governments are corporations with a monopoly.
Okay. Well, everything got quiet. Why is it all quiet? Oh, I forgot to mute myself. That's lovely. What's up, everybody? How's it going? You heard me get my lunch from my microwave. Hey, Dixie. Hey, thank you, Eagle, for that dono after the show yesterday. Said, just for a good show tonight. Dude, I really appreciate that. That was really nice of you. We always like hearing that we did a good job or that you guys were entertained. I hear you make good money raising cats for food. No, I do not. Yeah, I walked over to the microwave. It's literally like 10 feet across the room at this house. The other one was quite literally up above and to my right from where I used to sit. So I could just stand up and get my food. Now I got to throw the microphone cord over one of the stands that I have here for recording Roll for Sandy videos. And then I got to walk over there. But thankfully, this cord is really long. I forget who recommended this headset to me, these Tascams, but they are amazing. Oh, you left a comment too. Cool.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
It's 5 o'clock. I know not to start a stream at 5 o'clock on Starlink because that seems to be when they decide to update shit. My bad, y'all.
Maintenance period.
Yeah. So forget that last 2 minutes. Anyway, if you
I
rather
was just talking about my microwave.
you'd rather the federal government have your information and a way to track your internet searches and everything.
No, that's some dystopian nightmare shit.
Rather
like
than
Orwell
oh my
couldn't have
god,
conceived of that.
a corporation might see where I've gone and send me ads for something I've already bought, then you're just not paying attention to how the government works.
I think people have too much built-in trust in the government.
Yeah.
And Asmongold is of the more millennial generation where that was sort of instilled in them that the government is your friend.
He's from that generation for sure, but I don't know that that's the issue here. Like he sees it as an inevitability, so he wants to try to make it as nice as possible. That's why it's just a token that's gonna only say that yes, you are 18, so you can look at jerk off sites, right?
Token of my imprisonment. No,
but that's never how it's used. You can sit there and put all the limitations on it. Here, let's take an example. The FISA court. This is so that people in the United States can be spied on, and they put very strict limitations. They put rules. You had to go before a specific judge and show them the evidence. And we know that has been abused repeatedly.
Yeah. Like the government has no problem overstepping their bounds whenever they can. They will violate your Fourth Amendment on a minute-by-minute basis if they can get away with it. That's the whole reason you have to have safeguards for the government, not the citizens. You need to be protected from their shenanigans because the government is there to plow you in the ass at any given time and not in a fun way.
Yeah. So Asmond did a video related to this too, and we're gonna take a peek at that here, Jack, because it's kind of all over the place in true Asmongold style.
Yeah.
But I love the face that's at the beginning. I didn't do this, guys. This is just what comes up when you bring this video up. It's a video called "I'm Very Concerned." Make sure you go watch it yourselves because we're gonna give it the monkey treatment here, and it's gonna get shredded. So
this
and by
video is going to be 45 minutes at least.
By shredded, I don't mean I'm necessarily going to just rip into Asmongold because I understand where he's coming from. It's just ridiculously naive.
I think it's a little too optimistic of some of these guys, but I haven't seen his hot take on it, so we'll see.
I'm just going to be honest. I would much rather give my information to Amazon than I would the federal government.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, at least Amazon delivers shit on time.
Amazon has my information. YouTube has my information. I've yet to suffer any real consequences from that. The government having my information, I mean, I get like jury duty notices and shit.
And requests to pay taxes and student loans and whatever else they want to throw at you.
Imagine a what we used to call SJW administration coming into power. A real woke, that's what they call it these days, right? Woke administration coming into power after Trump. We have the pendulum swing all the way back the other way, and you get whatever Bernie Sanders-esque shitbag that they can muster who's like, we're going to crack down on people who say mean things on the internet. We have this token where we can see everywhere they've ever been.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that we're going to get Keir Starmer.
We're going to get re-educated, Jack. You and me, we're first in line for the camps.
Oh, yeah, I assume so. I just hope I get the top bunk.
All right.
Hi, guys. It's me again. And today...
But no, I get the top bunk. I do not sleep. You're a little brother. You go where I tell you to.
I'm older than you.
It doesn't matter,
little brother.
I'm a middle child.
Why do you assume that the gulag we're in will have separate rooms where only we have cells? No, it's going to be a bunkhouse. We're going to have to fight tooth and nail for those top bunks.
It's not a El Salvadorian prison.
No, it'll be worse. It'll be a gulag. I mean, have you seen the type of housing that Obama put people in?
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to be a bunkhouse.
It was funny. I read that article that you sent. Well, you sent the headline for it, and I read it, the Juan Crow laws.
Yeah.
And there's a link in there about how bad these people are being treated. And it said, they're having to sleep on concrete floors. Like, y'all didn't have a problem with that with Obama.
Yeah, I was picturing some Vietnam vets rolling their eyes like, POWs. They were like, we were laying on the dirt and the mud and getting peed on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, real quick. Thank you, Evolved Potato. The laws in the UK were introduced as only a way to stop kids from seeing porn. But now their government is bragging about a team of specialists that are looking for political beliefs that are critical of the government and immigration. Oh,
Yep.
Yeah, it's always mission creep because it's never going to be enough power for the government. The safest place to live is a police state, but
True.
You will never have any rights, and you will never get to do anything fun. Fun has been disallowed.
All right, back to Asmongold here.
Hey, I want to talk about my favorite topic, internet censorship. And you know what's really upsetting? The fact that every single other government in the world seems to have that in common with me. Every other government right now is making...
Well, they're not. Hopefully, you're not concerned with censorship the way they are because they want to censor. I'm concerned about censorship because I don't want them doing it. And the British government wants to censor. So I guess you could say we both think about censorship, but in entirely different ways.
Yeah, they don't need to know what kind of freaky porn I'm into.
Yeah, it's none of their goddamn business.
That's right. I thought
laws,
this was America.
rules, and regulations.
America, baby.
For what can and can't be on the internet. And there's a little phrase that my mom used to always tell me, and it used to be, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Asmongold, I want you to think about what you just said with your idea for a token. Because he's got a point that he's going to make about these other governments, and he's right on that. But the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Your good intention is this internet token that only has your info. Only, Jack. What could go wrong with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're going to add stuff onto that later or just use that information to come ask you a lot of uncomfortable questions.
But here's the thing. These people don't have good intentions. They say it's for the kids. Sure.
Well, that's the truth there, and that's why the road to hell's paved with good intentions doesn't fit what they're doing. It does absolutely fit your argument, though. When they don't have good intentions, the road to hell was paved with good intentions doesn't fit. The people who are like, well, we got to give in to this because this is going to happen inevitably anyway, so we need to limit it. That limitation is those are your good intentions. The road leads the same way, dude. How do you not get this? How does that miss your brain? I judge people who wear sweaters without an undershirt. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, it's weird.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I think, yeah, sure. You don't want to have kids on social media. You don't want to have kids looking at certain weird stuff. Very true. But let's be honest. The real reason why they're doing it is the same reason why YouTube removed dislikes. It's very simply because companies that are running advertising campaigns, pushing narratives and social agendas that aren't popular, and also governments that are doing the exact same thing, were upset and getting their feelings hurt because the people had the power of consensus.
I've listened to this twice now, and I'm still not quite sure what he's trying to express there. The reason that they're doing these censorship laws is because the government got their feelings hurt. No, they're doing it because they want to. I think he's getting at controlling you, but he's doing it that they're doing it because they got their feelings hurt.
I think it's because he's saying that what the government was trying to do was unpopular, and that made them upset. So they're just going to force you to do this.
Yeah, they got their feelings hurt, so they're going to make you do it anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
You dirty plebes.
People had the power of assembly, and they would assemble on that little red line on the bottom of a video, and it would show everybody else that this is bullshit. How many times have you guys read an article and you thought to yourself, this is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever read?
Okay, I think what he's actually getting at is that you're right, Jack, but the way he started that, comparing it to people getting their feelings hurt or not being popular enough on YouTube and they get the wrong comments. It's right, but it's wrong. I think the comparison to the dislike button is a bad instructional thing there.
Yeah, your pause game is so crazy, dude. I think he just used a really bad example.
Yeah. Because he's right about it being that they don't like that the people are pushing back and saying, no, we don't like this, we don't want this. Which, hey, Asmon, you want to give the token, remember? Don't worry, they won't do this if we have a token.
My entire life. And you scroll down to the comment section and the top comment says the exact thing that you think. And you're like, okay, I'm not crazy. Well, guess what? How do you solve that problem if you're the company? Do you write better articles? Absolutely not. No, of course not. You delete the comment section. And that's what they're trying to do with the entire internet. We used to have, back in the ancient days, in the ancient texts, every website used to begin with www. World Wide Web. And I think we're losing those first two W's, and I think that's a big fucking L.
I don't. What he's about to get into, Jack, is regional internets. Like certain sites are blocked in certain countries.
Yeah, they're starting to do that with like Twitter and TikTok.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that stuff happening, especially as somebody who's got a large audience overseas. I don't want YouTube limited overseas. But on a deeper point, I don't want it limited overseas because I want everybody to have free speech and access. But I'm also not necessarily opposed to that. I would much rather an internet in the United States where we get to live by our laws and I don't have to have something restricted because Britain's a bunch of stuck up shitbags.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but I think the internet needs to go back to the Wild Wild West days.
I agree. Thank you, Obama, for turning over control of the internet to other people.
that was one of the greatest crimes against humanity that he could have
Absolutely.
possibly committed.
No, it was just like giving away the Panama Canal. That had no repercussions.
Yeah, Jesus. Fucking communists, man.
Fact is that we are going to be moving towards a world and a society where different internets are siloed off based off of region. This is already happening. Look at what happened with, for example, Twitch and South Korea. Now South Korean websites are pretty much unique and they do their own thing by themselves.
Well, in fairness, they mostly are anyway, because these are things that are language locked. You can go read it and use Google Translate and stuff if you want to go read some South Korean website. But how many people in our chat right here, if I gave you a South Korean article written in Korean, could read it? If I put up, go ahead.
Is it one of the sites I visit, or
No. What, like a news site?
Oh no, I doubt anybody could then.
If I brought up the South Korean Asmongold speaking his native tongue and put it on the screen, how many of us would understand it? Yeah. So I would Google it. Yeah. Technically, we have access to it right now, but how many of us are actually using it? I don't think this is the major problem that he's kind of making it out here to be. Yes, we should have access, but like I would be, because he uses South Korea as an example. I'd be more like in England. I'd like access to what they have. You know why? Because I can fucking read it. If I watch Irate Alex, I can tell what he says most of the time, unless he tries to say aluminum
or methane.
Methane.
It's such a weird way to put it. Like, how did you get that? Anyway, it's weird that he brings up South Korea, because one of the videos I watched earlier, he was talking about Labubus, and they were made popular by a South Korean pop band, Blackpink, that I'm a big fan of. Lalisa had one, and she's so sexy. But yeah, he was talking about Labubus, and I was like, oh my God. So that's weird that we're back to South Korea again.
Wait, Claire, I thought your birthday was yesterday. Didn't we sing to Claire yesterday?
I thought we did, but we can sing again today if you want.
Maybe it's a different Claire. Claire,
oh, shit.
This is for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Claire.
Happy birthday, dear Claire.
Happy birthday
to you.
See, this is why we're better than Asmongold. We sing to our audience.
Yeah, I somehow think that he would not do that.
Happy birthday, Claire. I hope you have a good one. I really do. And if it was you, you have a song yesterday too. So go check that out. Somebody else mentioned that, asked if we sang to Claire, and so we sang to Claire. So you might have 2 of them. Go check that one out. Anyway, back to, oh man, my pause game.
Right? There he looks like he's doing some Jesus stuff.
I'm telling you, he is South Park Jesus.
Yeah, he is. It's creeping me out.
Right there, he's putting together a millennial concert with Rod Stewart. Poop my pants. Anyway.
This, in my opinion, is just a precursor of what's going to happen all across at least the Western world. Now, whenever I have conversations about this, I'm having conversations about this from the context of an American, okay? We have more freedom of speech than many other people in the world. And so when I say something like, the reality is, I think that this is the truth, okay? You might not like this, you might not want to hear it, but if you're realistic and you take your fucking idealism cap off just for a second, you're going to realize this is true. We're going to have real ID on the internet.
I hate to go revolutionary on your ass, but they thought it was inevitable that the crown was going to force taxes on us.
At this time, are we going to dress up like actual pirates and throw routers in the Boston Harbor?
Yes.
Okay. Just checking, because I didn't really know what the plan was for that one.
No legislation is inevitable. It only happens if we allow it to happen. That's just the way it is. This is inevitable. I hear this about UBI, which he does support. I've heard this about so many things. It's inevitable. Nothing is inevitable until it happens. And people like you going, hey, we have to accept this. This is how they get it done. And they start with, we're going to control it. We're going to make sure that nobody abuses this.
Yeah, they always lie like that.
And
Politicians.
well, no, see, I believe that he thinks it's possible.
Oh, I'm sure he does, but he's a bit more idealistic, a little less jaded than we probably are. You know, with
I
that
had
realism.
I had this thought earlier when I first saw the conversation on Twitter that when it comes to politics, because he's like 30-ish and
35, I think.
And he's mostly not been political. He's gotten much more so in the last several years.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a kid who gets some cherry bombs and he lights them and it blows up. And then he realizes if he plants it under the dirt a little bit, it'll make a little hole in the ground. And then he starts thinking, wonder what else I could blow up. He knows what it does, but he's not exactly sure why he shouldn't hold it tightly in his hand and light it. He's suddenly getting this information and he's not quite ready for it all yet.
It's so new. It's adorable.
You need some proper historical context for the kind of shit you're saying, man. I mean, our government would never, test syphilis on black people just to see.
just for something to do. Or test LSD on the general population of a town. Oops. I guess they did that too.
The reason that the founders wanted limited government is because of what government is capable of. And it wasn't helping the population, Jack. It was, they're going to find a way to fuck us over because it's happened in literally every government that has ever existed.
Yeah, corruption and power are dangerous things.
It's going to happen. You might not like it. I don't necessarily like it, but it's going to happen. And it's not going to be in 20 years. It probably won't even be in 10 years. It'll probably be sooner than that. And I wouldn't be surprised if things keep going the way that I think they are, that it happens even sooner than that. We're having this happen with...
You already have the Republicans in Congress signed on this shit. And it's all done under the guise of, we're going to protect the children from seeing boobies. How about be a parent? Let's start with that. You're a parent. Pay attention to what your kids are doing. Just a thought. But more importantly, how about not limiting speech to everybody because kids might see a boobie now and then? Maybe. I want to see boobs. Me too. There's never been a moment in my life where I didn't want to see boobs, and I'm not even a boob guy.
Social media, you had Spotify, and you had YouTube too. And YouTube and Spotify are asking for your IDs now to make sure that you're not underage. And they have
YouTube is kind of asking for your ID. That's not an entirely true statement, what he said there. YouTube is going to, we talked about this last night, they're going to implement, or they are implementing, they're testing it in the US. They've already done it overseas. But they're testing an AI system of age verification. It's going to look at the kind of things you watch on YouTube and what you search for on YouTube and make a guess based on your age. Hey, this guy's watching only monkey videos. He must be 60. And if it labels you as under 18, it puts all of the child restrictions on you that they have for the site. And in order to get those lifted, you have to give them proof of age. So kind of they're making you verify, but mostly not. Again, I don't think this is going to be the problem so many are worried about.
I think like everything on YouTube, it's going to go horribly wrong. It's going to misidentify a whole bunch of people and piss off a bunch of people.
I don't think so. Again, one, they're not starting it here in the US. They've already had this in place in other countries for quite a while.
Yeah, but those other countries make it mandatory.
What are you talking about? The age verification?
Yeah, age verification.
you wouldn't need an AI for age verification if you have actual age verification. This is in places where they don't have, because even in the UK, that just kicked in. And they've been doing this for a while now. Yeah.
Well,
if this was them just rolling it out, I'd be right on board with you. But
I just don't trust anybody.
And that's a fair enough way to be. Tyrai, thank you. There's already the Great Firewall of China. Also, thanks to the internet, the U.S. isn't the only country that has had serial killers in the past. Before the intended people only thought that was an American thing. Really? I watch a lot of crime podcast, or not podcasts, because I hate podcasts, crime videos, and there's a lot of serial killers around the world.
Oh yeah, but they didn't classify them as serial killers for a long time. There's a famous case in Russia where there was a guy picking up women at a train stop, and they didn't know what to do about it because all these women were going missing, and they figured out that all these things are connected. And they tried putting an undercover guy in the train station, but his only winter coat was his soldier, his uniform winter coat. So he's standing there in that, and one of the detectives comes out and is like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He's like, "It's the only coat I have." So they spent 15 years trying to catch this guy, and the detectives were begging them to ask the FBI for help. And they're like, "No, the USSR does not have serial killers."
Yeah.
And they kept these guys on this case till the one dude almost retired. And they finally caught the guy. But it was I think 50 women. Is one of the most prolific serial killers in history because they fucked this thing up so bad. And they scared him off several times by tipping him off like that. But when the head office guy came down and told him we got the guy, he apologized because he had just learned that the FBI rotates their detectives, their investigators out on serial killer type cases because they get burnout. And they usually do that every 6 months so that somebody doesn't have post-traumatic stress and shit like that from all the gruesome shit you gotta encounter. And this guy broke down in tears because he'd been on the case for 15 years.
BV points out that, Jack the Ripper, one of the most famous serial killers in history, he was an American.
Yeah. They just they didn't call them serial killers until the 60s.
Yeah.
When the behavioral science unit was formed. But yeah, they just did. A lot of places didn't want to admit they had those problems. Like China, we don't have crime. The USSR did the same thing. Romania, since everybody owned everything, you couldn't steal. That just wasn't a crime.
Okay, where were we?
Have an AI checking system. So if you say it's lit or on God, you instantly get sent to YouTube Kids, which
that's not okay. Using the common language of the children folk is not going to immediately flag you on that. YouTube laid this out on how they do it. It's not even based on your comments, Jack. It's based on your viewing habits.
Honestly, I kind of think that's doing everybody a favor, right? But the reality is that YouTube and Spotify shouldn't be the ones that are doing this. They should not be the ones handling your driver's licenses. They shouldn't be the ones handling your personal information.
Why not? They're the ones handling what you want to see. You think it's better to have the government handling what you get to see rather than the corporations?
I don't think either of them should be able to dictate that.
But you have to choose one, Jack. So which is it?
Corporation, because there's alternatives if you don't like the way they're doing it.
Yeah, and if you break their rules, you're not going to jail for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like the idea of it either way, but if it's got to be done, you're going to make us do it. I'd rather the corporations do it.
Who's responsible for making sure you're 21 to go into a strip club? Is it the state or do they check your ID when you go into the club?
Well, for now, they check our IDs when we go in the club, but it wouldn't surprise me if some tax collector was hanging around out front, making sure that they give them a dividend off the cover fee.
The government provides your license. What is the difference from giving your license to YouTube to show that you're 18 than it is to giving it to a cashier to show you're 18 to buy cigarettes? Yeah. Don't worry. Those places definitely don't keep your ID on. I don't know about in your area, Jack, but if you buy cigarettes here, they actually scan your ID.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of the stores just swipe it through their computer scanner now.
It's not just looking at it. That information is logged.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Real quick, thank you, Evolved Potato. Even in Australia, they covered up what they had, that they had serial killings because it was bad luck. I'm willing to bet a lot of other countries did the same thing. Oh, yeah, especially in more authoritarian countries, because you can't give the perception that the government is not in total control. Governments rely on the idea that they are in charge.
No, Monkey, I shouldn't have to give my ID to any of them. I suppose so. But if that's the case, how do you make sure that you're keeping minors out of a bar or minors from buying things that we told them they can't buy yet?
Big sticks.
Oh, with the T.
That would be more fun.
Right? Yeah, I hear you. If they think they're getting a thrashing, they're not coming back.
Yeah, by the way. So in case anybody does your personal information, how'd that go with the T app, by the way? So in case anybody doesn't know, the T app was an app made for fat, ugly, middle-aged women to post pictures and henpeck men who didn't call them back after the first date.
We haven't talked about the T thing. Maybe we'll do that after this video because that shit is funny.
Yeah, it is.
Because of the obvious reasons. And guess what happened? Well, in the most pristine and pure version of karma possible, all of these women who had their information, were putting out their information to, basically like posting the public information of these men against or without their consent, had all of their public information and private information leaked completely to the public. And now,
yeah, somebody broke in and hacked into their system and released all that information. That would never happen in the government. The government has never been hacked by anybody, and like the Social Security Administration. Nobody's
straight face, dude.
Nobody's information has been compromised by the government having it.
Shit, the government just got hacked like a week ago. I mean, it's not even out of the news cycle yet.
For fuck's sake, man, I get what he's getting at here. Yeah, their information all got leaked because a corporation had it. Sure, but that happens with the government too.
Yeah. And T didn't really secure their app very well, apparently.
No.
Like, it was super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Oh, you saw the pictures of all the people, and man, oh my God, like stereotypes exist sometimes for a reason.
Stereotypes always exist for a reason. But in that case, yeah, those were some hideous beasts of women. The whole app was so women could get in there and tell on their bad dates. And it was supposed to be anonymous, but in order to sign up for it, you had to prove you were a woman. And that's where he's getting at it, making the comparison here. But a bunch of pissed off harpies not being able to lock down information isn't all that surprising.
I figured it out. I figured out who he looks like. He's Weird Al doing an impression of Ethan Klein.
I'm sticking with South Park Jesus because I can't not, especially when he doesn't have his hair brushed and it looks like this.
Yeah, that's fair, but it might be Weird Al doing an impersonation of Ethan Klein while dressed like Jesus from South Park.
The T fallout has been funny. It's been amazing.
Oh, it's talk about irony. Like, if you didn't believe in karma before, maybe you'll be like, yeah, that could be a thing.
That is a box of Dr. Pepper in the background.
Probably.
Confirmed. Asmongold is scribe. Just saying.
And so anyway, this happened. I'm not going to say it's a hack because there was no security. There was nothing. The guy that was running this this app, apparently, I heard that after he gets done running this app, Sony's going to hire him for their privacy division. So that's pretty much where we're at now. And I don't want to have YouTube get hacked. I don't want to have Spotify get hacked. The reality is,
But the Social Security Administration, that's cool. Or do you just not know about that? See, this is my problem when where I said, you know, he's got just enough information. He doesn't have the full story. Because I can't imagine that you'd be this concerned over, look what happened with the T guys, and not bring up the multitude of hacks that have happened to the federal government. Because one is far worse than the others. A bunch of nagging hags getting exposed for being the ugly bitches that they are. How many people are running around using their names? Everybody's just laughing at their pictures.
Yeah, because it's funny.
You know what happens when the SSA gets hacked? Suddenly a Mexican guy has your identity.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Bruh, I'm new here. Welcome, Tracker. Or Tracer. Sorry. Look, if you're new here, the first thing you need to learn is I don't read names well.
Shit, you've forgotten my name and I'm on the show.
That's true.
that we need some degree of authentication token, verification, or some sort of third-party thing that verifies that maybe you are an adult or you are an actual person, you are above this age. But
anything that you do like that is going to have some kind of vulnerability. So if that's your worry that, hey, your stuff could get out, then you should just be against this entirely. My stuff could get out. It shouldn't have to be used at all. Period. End of story. That means sometimes kids are going to see boobies. Can somebody name me the impenetrable, the place never been hacked?
The Amish community.
True story. True story.
What's a computer?
It's like sex and pregnancy, Jack. Sex doesn't always lead to pregnancy, but it always has the chance to lead to pregnancy. You know, as long as everything's working properly.
Depends what hole you're in, doesn't it?
Nope, because we know of situations where a dude blew in her mouth and she,
wiped down there.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I would say heterosexual sex you're all 100% correct on, but I don't know about the gays.
That's why I have LifeLock, helps me stop this shit. Do you know why LifeLock no longer puts their social security number in their ads? Because somebody hacked or got that social security number and used it. It's a nice, firewall there, but again, LifeLock's not the best thing either.
Nothing in life is guaranteed.
Does not provide that information to the end user or the end company that's actually trying to verify this. We need a validation token system. And if we don't have this, and I know people might say, no, we're not going to have any of this. It's bad. You're going to get it. Okay. It's going to happen. You can get mad at me all you want.
Okay. Let's just take your argument. If the companies required it, like if in order to go, I've had to verify my, my ID on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Years and years ago, I pissed off some fucking liberal and they turned me in and I had to show my ID to get my account unlocked.
Yeah, I had the same thing.
You let the companies decide that. The ones that are just like you would with a bar or a strip club. Hey, here's my ID. I have far more. And you know what? Those places, once they identify you, just zip it from the server. Any of that information, gone. It's been verified, gone. Do I trust them to do that? Not necessarily, but it is something they can do. The government knows that you're Zach, whatever the fuck your last name is. I don't know and I don't care, so please don't tell me. I just know his name's Zach because that's what it is on Twitter.
No, did not know that.
The government will always know who you are. It starts with that social security number, Jack. And you don't think that they're going to have a way of of tracking those tokens, even if you use a GMO, because he wants to do this third party. Are you in? We can't
Doesn't
let
that
the
defeat
companies.
the point?
We can't let the companies do it. We got to give it to this whole other group of non-government officials to do it.
Wow. Yeah.
Fuck. Who do you think has more incentive to keep your privacy safe? YouTube or a third party?
Yeah.
But just wait and see. So I think we need a validation system. We need a way that has actual accountability to make sure that people just don't get their shit leaked when one of these accounts or one of these websites gets leaked.
Like the government?
Where there's no accountability ever.
Yeah, who got held accountable for that shit?
Who got held accountable for anything in the government? Like, you could point to like 3 times, I bet. That'd be about it. Oh, real fast. Thank you, Tyrai. What does this guy normally talk about? Because he sounds very historically illiterate on this topic.
Video
Is
games.
he like a video game streamer?
Yep, that's where he comes from. It's from video games, and he's moved into more areas. I think he even does like some what we would call entertainment review kind of stuff, or
Yeah, like entertainment commentary.
yeah. Lots of slop coverage, drama coverage, you know.
Yeah.
But originally, yeah, he comes up in the gaming world.
Anything can get hacked, but I would much rather put my trust in some part of like third party like security system or something like that, rather than a T app or something like that that's just basically outsourcing its security to.
Well, two things. The T app isn't when YouTube needs to verify your age. The reason they're doing this whole thing, especially here in the States, remember all that trouble they got into because, oh my God, we're showing ads to children about things that they might like, and it's much better to just throw random shit at them.
Yeah.
There are government controls that these folks have to meet and show that they're following and doing their absolute best to maintain that. The T app didn't do that. The only thing the T app was trying to make sure is that only women were on there because those bad men might get in and see it. They had far less of a reason to protect your privacy. YouTube does not want the private information of 13-year-olds getting out.
No, it's bad press.
Yeah. Anyway.
Squirrels. And so anyway, that's where that's not true. Squirrels are really good at hiding nuts. This person didn't even do that. But anyway, I was just thinking about this. The fact is that, yes, this is where things are going. And the internet is doing this. Why is this happening? It's not happening to protect the kids. It's happening to protect the people and the companies that are in power to make sure that narratives go unchallenged. And
okay. How does your coin idea fix that?
You flick it at them and put their eye out.
They can still ban you for saying things they don't want to hear.
Yeah.
So the whole notion, I get what you're getting at. I understand. What they want is control of the narrative, and they can do that with or without your fucking coin. I don't think, look, as much as I'm sure the people at YouTube, if they heard what I said, would be like, this guy's Satan. I'm not worried about them leaking my name. I don't think they're going to be like, Frank there said some mean stuff.
Oh, you doxed yourself, monkey. Look at that.
I do think that third-party places might do that, because especially if they wanted to hurt YouTube.
And if you don't, the thing is, like, I don't even have to make a 1984 analogy because we can just make a 2020 analogy. Look at what happened with COVID. Do you even for a second think that's not what's happening? Of course it is. It's happening.
But they're manufacturing a disease to kill off a lot of the population and sterilizes.
I don't remember having to verify my age for YouTube, but because of COVID.
No, but I did have to show a piece of paper saying I was vaccinated in order to go into places.
Yeah, but again, I don't agree with how it was done with COVID, but we do have to do that if you want to go into a bar. If you want to order a drink at a bar, you bet you're going to have an ID unless you look, as old as we do, Jack.
I don't look old. I am sexy. I'm a distinguished fella. I look way old, dude. I'm ancient looking.
I do think some people who are on the side of needing to verify everything honestly do want to protect children. I think Robespierre really did want good for the French people.
Until he got that little taste of power, and then it was cut off their heads.
Happening right in front of us because it just got done happening. And do you really think that all the people like, the censorship game's up? Well, I guess it's time to go home and let's have everybody have freedom of speech now. No, they're planning their next method and their next move. And guess what? They just showed us our side of the board.
They can already do that.
Yeah, I think that was an unfair statement because he didn't give us time to guess.
That's true. He did not. But
you don't get to say guess what and then just answer.
He's asking, or he's stating this as though these companies can't censor us right now.
Yeah, we're censored all the time on YouTube. There's a lot of words you're not supposed to say.
The Elon buying Twitter only opened up Twitter because of Elon. And none of the other companies have really backed off on that. We've seen a little bit of letting up here on YouTube, like we can actually talk about the 2020 election now, however we want.
Yeah, because it was 5 years ago.
But we haven't seen them come out and go, you know what? It's all right to drop the F slur. The ability of them to censor us is not relegated. The government forcing them to censor us is what's happening with these real ID laws, with these child protection acts. The companies already have that ability. So what you're talking about is actually giving in to more censorship because you want to put your trust in the government or an NGO, which is still controlled by the government. Children. Fucking kids.
Kids seem to be a large part of our problem. They're always getting into shit they're not supposed to be doing, getting child safety warnings. Can't make them go work in the mines anymore. I mean, I don't understand the benefit here.
Yeah, any easing of censorship on social media is because of those companies, and they can turn that around whenever they want without your fucking ID token.
Their side of the board. This is what's happening right now. And I'm very concerned about this because I don't want to see the internet siloed away. I think that one of the best and most enriching things about the internet is the fact that everybody in the whole world can go on and talk with each other, basically. It's something that expands people's horizons. I think it both creates and also gets rid of xenophobia. And I think
that's fair enough.
Yeah, but he left out the most important things on the internet. Kittens.
Boobs?
Kittens, Star Trek, and boobs. Let's get there.
That video of the time lapse of the kitten turning into a cat was amazing.
Wasn't that adorable?
That was awesome.
The truth is that it gets rid of it a lot faster than it makes it. I think that if you can just talk to somebody from another country, from another place, you just have a straight up conversation with them. It's a lot easier than hearing what the media is trying to make you think this country is like. And I feel like there's been a lot of cultural understanding that the internet has created that weirdos and people that have agendas never like to acknowledge.
Fair, but what does that have to do with the topic of a token?
Yeah, I feel a little singled out here. Like, what are you calling me out for, dude? Just because I'm weird.
I get what he's going for here. An open internet is great. You can still have those conversations, Asmongold, without saying fuck. You could make it entirely child friendly. So you're not really making a point here for your side. They've been propagandizing us for generations with family-friendly wording on television.
Your pause game makes him look like the guy they pulled out of the bog in the UK that was like 5,000 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I just get these weird thoughts when you pause on people.
I've been more enriched in my ability to understand the rest of the world because of the internet than anything else ever. And I would hate to see that not be an option for other people in the future, but it sure seems like things are going that way. I think the real problem here, by the way, isn't with companies doing this, okay? The companies are just pulling the trigger. You should look at the person who's loading the gun and who made the gun. And that person, that's the government.
But if you totally let them control an NGO, there's nothing to worry about. I don't understand his trust in that.
I don't either. I think that comes from more naivete than anything else, because maybe he doesn't know about Act Blue or any of the Catholic charities that's bringing the illegals in throughout Europe.
Anything in the US, I can't speak for other countries, but anything where you're making an ID token to comply with US law is going to be controlled by the government inevitably. I'm using his word here. It has to be, because how else do they verify your information without your government? Who's paying for it? That's going to be us, Jack.
Oh, yeah.
We'll pay a non-government organization to do what the government's already doing. Hey, fuck it.
And so the fact is, in telling them to pull the trigger, the fact is that these companies are not doing this because they want to do it.
Okay, when it gets to the censorship, let's back up a little bit. Do you remember after the 2016 election, watching the folks from Google crying on stage? Well, we didn't actually get to see it. We got to hear it. Crying on stage because Donald Trump lost, or Donald Trump won, and they were never going to let that happen again. Do you think the government told them to do that? Or do you think their leftist ideology did that?
I would go with ideology.
There is nothing in the U.S. federal or state codes that says you can't say fag, but you can get in trouble for it on social medias. Do you think that's the government doing it or the people running it? You can't just wait. It's only the government that's making it happen. No, it's not. I do think there's a part of that, Jack, like I brought up the child protection bullshit that we already have. Like, they can't see a Transformers toy. They might want it. Instead, show them Viagra ads.
Yeah. Mommy, can I get Grammarly?
It's the people who are running it. You can't just wave away Susan Wojcicki's ideology. I know she's passed now, but I don't remember the dickhead's name who's in charge now.
Not Susan. How's that?
I mean, this is a woman who put her hands together in prayer formation to tell a gay person how sorry they were that they didn't punish Crowder for calling a lispy fag a lispy fag.
I believe the word was queer.
Sorry, lispy queer. His own language. Crowder called him the very same thing he called himself. Yeah. And Susan put her hands together. I'm so sorry for what we did. But letting people speak, that wasn't, the government didn't come in. They didn't have a gun to her head like, apologize, bitch. She did that of her own accord. Because that's who's running these things. That's why your whole nonsense about they're going to use this to censor us. They can do that now.
They're doing it because they're afraid of not doing it. So what we need to be more vigilant of and there needs to be more advocacy of is, number one, privacy laws. I think that if a judge issues a subpoena and a person is doing something and there's reasonable cause and there's evidence and everything, I think, of course, their information should be turned over to the government. Like, duh. I mean, of course, that's the way anything is. That's the way it is now. But the truth is that I don't want to have the government that just has, they can just read what you're doing on the internet all of the time. And
They can do that now. They're not supposed to, Jack, but they absolutely have the option of doing that right now. If they decided to just, hey, we're going to find out what this Jack guy is up to, they can follow him all over the internet. They have that ability.
Yeah, and boy, is that going to get really fucked up fast.
It's just not legal.
Yeah, he's watching porn and doing something else. It's really creeping me out.
And unfortunately, it seems like that's where we're at. And I understand if you've got nothing to, if you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to fear. Yeah, definitely.
I've never agreed with that statement. You might have nothing to fear, but that's not a reason to, just because I'm not afraid of what you might do with my information doesn't mean I should give it to you. You know what I mean? It's mine. That's why.
Yeah, I don't have to give a bunch. It's mine, damn it.
If you're not afraid, you'll let everybody know.
If you're
my
not
business, not yours.
If you're not committing a crime, you shouldn't have a problem with it. Then you have nothing to hide. You have nothing to worry about.
Well, what happens whenever they change what to hide?
True.
That's the issue.
Yep.
And I think that's where everybody else is at too. I don't want to have my internet be controlled by the 20 most annoying Karens that are either in Collective Shout, that are in the T app, or that are in Congress. Or I don't want to have them controlled by the 20 most powerful companies that are basically pulling the strings for a lot of these types of regulations. I am very concerned.
I love his idea of this altruistic company that's going to control all of our tokens.
Yeah, I mean that in a perfect world, but we don't live in that world.
Yeah, let's give this company a name. The company is going to do like Stolen Identity. We'll just call it what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Stolen Identity comes out and they're like, here's your token. And whether you put it, I'm not sure how this token would work. Because like if it works like a blockchain, which is kind of what he describes later on in his tweet, if I remember correctly. Those are basically tied to your hard drive. So you get a new computer, you got to somehow re-up with that company, I suppose. But then can that never be faked? Can that never be duplicated?
You ask a lot of questions, mister.
Yeah, and what happens when somebody does get a hold of your token and suddenly it's on the dark web looking at shit? You actually do become the person going, I didn't look at that kiddie porn, but somebody did with your token. Then what? Don't worry, that would never happen. That would never happen. The trust that he puts in this. I do think we're coming to a place, Jack, where you're gonna have to verify your ID on certain apps. I don't think it'll be the whole internet. I don't think like you'll need your ID to go read whatever CBS News is saying right now.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to be on a site like YouTube where age verification is required, or any of these other ones, which again, they don't do that because they're trying to keep kids away from porn. They're doing it to try to keep advertisers away from kids. The government wise, not YouTube, but the government, the reason they have those, hey, you better make sure kids can't come in here. It's not because you might see a boob on YouTube. It's not because I might say fuck on YouTube. It's so that your kids don't get an ad that they might want to. Mom, I saw an ad for McDonald's. I want a Happy Meal.
Yeah, God forbid you market to children.
Don't market to children, damn it.
I think that you should be too.
For
I think
the record, I don't care about marketing to children. Parents,
No.
tell your kids no.
Yeah, just be like, no, we're not buying that.
That's what my mom did.
Yeah. This comes from shitty parenting more than anything else. You don't want your kids seeing something? Monitor their internet behavior. Or better yet, don't let them on the internet.
I want a Happy Meal. I could go for one too. I really do like just a regular cheeseburger from either McDonald's or Burger King. Actually, I like their hamburgers. I'm not a cheeseburger fan.
Yeah, it's a little hit and miss. Their cheese isn't that good.
An original McDonald's hamburger is still really good if it's, if they make it the way they're supposed to. I don't like Burger King anymore because for some reason the Burger King near my house, Jack, they think everything should have extra pickle on it.
Gross.
I got a Whopper one day that had 15 pickles on it, and I didn't order extra pickle.
That's weird.
And that could, when it happened, I was like, oh, whoever's working must be pissy today. But every time I've gone there, the sandwich has way too many pickles on it. Like, stop it. So now I order my sandwiches without pickles.
Yeah, I always try and order stuff, special orders, but they always fuck it up.
The one here used to be really good, as good as Burger King can be, but the whole pickle debacle, man.
Did I tell you like a week ago, or no, it was a couple weeks now. I went to the drive-through at McDonald's and got a couple of cheeseburgers. And one of the cheeseburgers had the cheese, had the onions, had the pickles, but there's no burger.
This is a true story. My wife used to be a manager of a McDonald's, and I went there one time and ordered a number one, which is your Big Mac.
Mm-hmm.
No meat. So I had to go back up to my wife and ask her if I could have meat on my burger.
Yeah, when I walked in, I was like, I think you guys forgot something on my sandwich. And there was a bite taken out of it, too, because that's how I found out. And she's like, well, what's wrong with it? She's all defensive. I was like, you guys forgot something. And I opened it up. And she looked at it. Sorry.
The bald potato asks, are you sure the person making it just doesn't hate you? They're drive-through orders, and half the time I'm not even the one going because I don't drive anymore, Jack. With my eyesight the way it is, I could see enough to drive, but if I don't have to chance it, I don't.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
Yeah, so it's not even me. Maybe they hate my wife.
Yeah, maybe they're like, oh, it's her again. No, more likely they just hate their jobs.
I hope Asmongold responds to this and gets to this part and goes, what the fuck are they talking about?
Look, man, this is transformative content. Although it does look like he's praying right there. So I think you're right. He might be South Park Jesus.
South Park Jesus. Asmongold, I need you to do this for me. For Halloween, be South Park Jesus. It's a very easy outfit to make. You need a sheet, a rope, and a halo.
A red sash.
By the way, when I say sheet and a rope, don't talk to Democrats about that because they use it an entirely different way.
Yeah, you'll end up as a spooky ghost putting teas on people's lawns because they hate money or something.
Oh, all right.
Honest and genuine conversation to be had about which content is appropriate for children and which is not, and how social media should regulate itself and how social media should be regulated. But we are going a lot farther than that, and we're talking about the entire internet and websites wholesale. This is censorship. This is going to go too far. This is not for kids. This is for adults to prevent them from doing and saying things and organizing in ways that put the powers that are making these rules at risk.
No, it's not. No, it's not. This is for future use, maybe throwing you in jail for something you said on online, but all of those censorship worries that you have right now can already be realized. There's not a federal law in the United States stopping YouTube from banning your video right here because Marjorie Taylor Greene disagrees with your take on it.
Yeah, or Hank Johnson finds it offensive that the roof or the fold in your house looks like a boat, and he's afraid of Guam
flip over.
Real quick, thank you, Tyrai. When I worked at Burger King, our manager would be ready to give a beatdown to anyone that gave him attitude. That's a hardcore Burger King. My brother was I think an assistant manager at a Burger King for years. He grew to hate that job, but I think it was more due to dealing with customers.
Mm-hmm.
Because from what I can tell anymore, it's so much worse today than it was back. Because that was in like the late 80s. Now, people break out into fights over like, you forgot my sauce for my nug nugs. And then they'll throw shit at people and they'll trash the place. You know what? I would gladly be downsized so I have an excuse not to work that job. I'd rather be replaced by a kiosk than go to prison for beating the shit out of a customer because they threw a hot mustard packet at me.
When I worked at McDonald's, I enjoyed working there. I was 18 and I was still there when I was 19. I worked there for 2 years and I enjoyed it. The reason I left is it didn't pay well enough. I was a shift manager making minimum wage at the time.
I only lasted 4 hours.
I was making a little above minimum wage because I think minimum wage was $4.50 and I was making $5.
Oh yeah.
And I got the chance to go work at the machine shop where I was started at 9 and worked my way up to over 15 before I left. So I left that not because of the job itself, but because of the pay.
Yeah, that makes sense though. That's a major difference.
I liked working at Walmart. It was the managers I had a problem with. Working with the people. I love working with people.
I detest the public.
I'm a people person. I say that jokingly a lot, but I really am. I enjoy talking with people and helping people, and that's fun for me.
I used to like it. I used to like interacting with people. I used to like helping people, and I was always helping people move and stuff like that. But anymore, nobody appreciates that sort of thing. So I've slowly become more and more jaded, and I've just dealt with too many. I could really lock it down to when I worked selling purses, that the snobbery and abuse that people would give you was unbelievable. The unreasonable demands from customers. It was just that pushed me over the edge, and I absolutely started to loathe the public.
Fair enough, I guess. I mean, I had my bad customers, but I've always said this about customer service. You remember the bad ones because they are so unique. You don't remember the chick who's just like, hey, where's this? And you tell her, and she's like, oh, thank you so much, and goes on with her day. You don't tell your friends about that one. You tell your friends about the guy who threw shit across your store.
Yeah. The customers I loved were the elderly people that came into my purses. They would always hit the clearance rack, $25 or less, and they were the nicest people to deal with, and nobody else wanted to work with them because the commissions weren't that good.
Bad customers are the norm, sadly. What the fuck are you working in?
It's gotten so much worse, dude.
Dude, I still go to the store. I watch people, and it's not as bad. Do this tomorrow, guys. Go to a Walmart and sit in the bench in the front of the store and watch the people checking out and see how many of them freak out at the cashier. I guarantee you it's less than one if we take everybody's experience together on average.
Now, I would argue that the Walmart where you live and the Walmart where I used to go shopping are much different experiences.
Oh, I'm sure they are. But again, it's not like remember, Jack, I just got back from vacation where we went to stores purposefully around the areas we were at, and I didn't see bad customers anywhere.
The one near me, you see about one per trip that's a troublemaker or an asshole. But it's not as common as it was when I was in Columbus on the edge of the hood.
I'm not saying it's not gotten worse over the years. I'm just saying it's much inflated over reality.
Yeah, well, like you said, the shitheads are the memorable ones.
Mm-hmm.
But I try not to make eye contact with people at Walmart. They might try and talk to me, and I don't approve of such behavior. That's uncivilized. You ignore me, I'll ignore you. And unless I need something, I don't want to talk to anybody. Just get in there, get my stuff, and go. Find the clearance aisle.
Back to Asmongold here.
That's what's happening. And I understand I might sound like a crazy person, but after everything that happened during COVID, I can't see a single one of you guys disagreeing.
I've already disagreed. And I don't think you're crazy. I just think you're historically illiterate.
Yeah, I don't think you're crazy. You haven't talked to me about the flood times or the sky people yet. So
Right.
yet
The life tree.
the life tree.
And so anyway, while real ID I think is inevitable, what isn't inevitable is the fact that these companies have to be the ones running it. They should not be the ones running it. I do not trust these companies. I don't trust the government either, but I don't trust the companies at all, and I just don't trust the government. And the fact
It's so weird to me. See, this is the indoctrination of the commies. This is their influence right there. Don't trust the corporations. They're the real evil ones. By the way, we can shoot you if we decide you've messed up too bad. They can't, but they're the real evil ones.
Yeah, we should nationalize them. Wait, what?
They're the ones you got to look out for. They want profit. Those dirty profit seekers. They probably know some Jews too. I'm sorry, I'm not putting that on Asmon, but you know the type. I trust corporations way more than I trust our government. Way more. I don't understand how you can look at history, or you're the one bringing up COVID. The lockdowns were the government telling these companies to do this shit. They were the ones that gave us the little cards so you could get your injection shot. That was all the government, dude.
What?
In Australia, it wasn't the companies who were locking people into their homes. That was the government.
You don't know. You don't know. You weren't there.
How can you be using COVID as the example and pointing to the social media companies and not the government?
Apparently, it's fairly easy.
Oh, fuck me, dude.
fact is that, like the government got rid of, at least in America, slavery in 1865.
You
Private
don't know what we
companies still
did.
have it right now. So
Did you hear what he just said?
They got rid of slavery in 1865.
No, the follow-up.
Oh, sorry. No, I was being a dick.
America, slavery in 1865. Private companies still have it right now.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Did I call that commie shit or what? They got the slaves in the corporation. Not legally, they don't, homie.
Yeah, it is impressive how much deprogramming he has obviously gone through, but he is nowhere near there yet.
How many slaves are working in the U.S. at Google right now? I need to know.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think Google is capable of such a heinous crime. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, cough, cough. Know what I mean? Know what I mean?
Dom says, being from Australia, you're correct. I couldn't even go into a fucking Kmart unless I could prove I was double jabbed. I only read that comment because of Kmart. A lot of people don't know they still exist down there in Australia.
Oh my God. I was driving, I don't know, a couple days ago. My knee was feeling better. And I saw a big K, which is the Super Kmart.
Super Ks, yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't a Super K, it was a big K.
Big K, yeah.
Yeah. So the Super Ks were, that's too fancy for the area I was in. Because I was in a shithole town. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to Kmart. And I drove down there, and about 3/4 of the way, I realized there's no cars in the parking lot, and it just never took the signage down. And I got really sad.
Our Kmart, what is it now? It's gone through like 3 different owners since they were in the building.
Oh.
I think the building is just cursed.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I missed Murphy's Mart and Rinks, too, because they were cool, but...
Dom says, fuck you. Dom says, fuck you. I thought you read it because it was interesting. You want to know the real reason I read it? Because it showed I was right, and I like to be right. But that's... Nobody wants to hear that. They want to hear me say it's because I brought it because it said Kmart. Nobody wants to hear me being arrogant and egotistical again.
So I think that pretty much gives you a barometer on which one is better than the other, which one has a little bit more accountability. But again, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel here. So that's what I think we...
The government actually closed down places that weren't requiring the little jab card to get in. The government was shutting down, and maybe not the feds, Jack, but the state governments were shutting down businesses for not having enough social distancing. That was all the government, homie.
Yeah.
Now you can point and say, oh, social media wouldn't let us say that the virus came from a lab in Wuhan. Okay, which of those two things affects you more? Not being able to say that the virus came from Wuhan lab, or not being able to work? Anybody? But right, companies are the ones you need to worry about. I'm not saying don't worry about companies, for sure. Worry about them too. But if you're doing a comparison of which one sucks more, I promise you it's the government.
Need to be looking at. We need to be looking at proactive, real ID implementations that do not actually put people's data at risk.
There is no way to do that. So what you need to do is look at which one's going to hurt worse. That's the question here. These companies are going to, especially to comply with international laws, have to start doing some kind of age verification. I don't like it. I hope we don't have to do it, but because of laws, they're going to.
Yeah. Sadly. I would rather we start spreading freedom around the world and start pushing back on all this bullshit. Isn't that why we had the CIA created anyway? Like, so we can
theoretically
push values.
Theoretically.
Yeah. It's always theoretical.
The company
same thing with USAID. It was supposed to push American values. It was specifically to stop communism.
Yeah. And then the communists took it over and gave themselves money.
Yep. Because the government does everything well.
That's right, comrade.
To have that data on hand. You saw that with the T app. And again, I know there's going to be people that are against me on this because you're going to say, well, I don't want to have this at all. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I cannot.
Well, I'm not against him because I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's inevitable. I think it's going to happen because people like him are like, it's inevitable. And that leads our lawmakers to feel comfortable pushing this kind of shit. Because right now in the U.S., there's very little that Google could point to and say, we have to age verify. But if they get the Child Protection Act through, then they're going to have to do it.
Yeah.
And you already have that shit. The UK just passed that crap. So the question becomes, would you rather the government's watching what you're doing or Google's watching what you're doing? Because I don't know if you guys know this. They're watching what you're doing right now already.
Well, they're going to be very shocked by my lack of pants.
Right?
I see a universe where it doesn't happen. If you drive around with a car, you've got to have a license plate. You've got to present ID with 1,000 other things in the world. Do you really think that we're going to live in a world where the internet stays like it was in 2007 forever?
How come you're not arguing for some kind of third-party identification to drive your car, or for all those other things you said you need ID for? Why is it only when it comes to online do people suddenly freak out about showing your ID?
Well, you see, Monkey, before you know it, it'll just be a tattoo you have on your back of your hand or on your forehead.
Yeah.
And then Monkey will take a nap. There'll be the seas turning to blood. And shit will just go sideways real fast.
I don't like having to verify age, Jack. I'm 50 for fuck's sake. I thought I was past that shit.
Nope.
But of the 1, 2, 3, the 3 social media things that I use the most already have my information. And you can throw Amazon in there. I don't use them as a social media thing, but I have Amazon too. So Google has my information. I get payments from them, Jack, so they have my information.
Yeah.
The Amazon has my information because I have a Prime account. YouTube or Twitter has mine because I do get my Twitter premium thing. and Facebook has it because I verified my ID years and years ago.
Yeah. Real quick. Thank you, Tyrite. Governor Wolf made entertainment businesses spend tons of money to comply and still shut them down. While a company he once was a part of was allowed to stay open because cabinets are a mandatory necessity. Yeah, they pulled the same shit in California where there was no requirements for like the entertainment industry like there were for like private businesses. So catering companies could go work on sets and not have to abide by the same rules as like the local restaurants. It's really fucked up. And we all know Governor Whitmer, what she did with giving her husband special access.
Well, in fairness to Governor Whitmer, she changed the rules so her husband could go do that, and it did apply to all of us. But she did it so her husband could go mow her fucking lawn.
Yeah, I still count that because it's fucking gross.
Dr. Functional says, so Monkey's in favor of a single ID for the internet. I'm confused and just got here. I'm not in favor of a single ID for the internet. In fact, quite the opposite. I think I should not have to give my ID to the entire internet to use a part of it, which is kind of what the child safety thing would do if we did it like they do in the UK. No. I don't want that linked to me. But if I like want to see certain things and they're like, you have to prove you're 18 for this, I don't really have a problem proving I'm 18 for that. I prefer if it's just a button that says, of course I'm 18.
Yeah, it's how it should be. People need to just monitor their fucking children and stop letting the government hide behind this crap.
No, what you walked in on was me explaining that all of the people out there who worry all that, oh my God, they're going to get my information. Your information's already out there. I don't care how protected you think you are, your information is out there.
Yeah.
The stuff
any
that
internet footprint at all.
Yeah, the stuff that you're worried about people finding out, it could be found out tomorrow, and it has nothing to do with Real ID or Child Protection Acts. It has to do with advertising, honestly. Tyra, thank you. I just learned you're not allowed to camp on your own private property. You need a permit to do it. That's in the state of Pennsylvania. There seems to be a lack of freedom already, while in PA, DMV sells our personal information to private companies. Government wouldn't do that. How dare you? Okay, yeah, I know.
You need a permit to camp it on your own property.
I've heard of that.
Beyond ridiculous.
I've heard of that before, and the reason for it is that you don't want somebody setting up a tent on their thing for their family, right? You know, you're living in the burbs, it's a nice neighborhood, and suddenly Thomas next door, I don't know why I chose Thomas, we're gonna go with Steve. Steve next door decides his mother-in-law is gonna live on the lawn in a tent.
She's banished. It's her time of the month.
So instead of your kids not being or going out and having a camp out one night, that's not what they were trying to get rid of with that law. It's still stupid. It's your private property. And we really do need to get, this is what homeowners associations do. And
I hate them.
Cities coming along like, you need to trim that bush. You need to get fucked. It's my house. We need to get away from the idea that other people can control your land like that. It'd be one thing if you're talking about you can't store toxic chemicals here. Cool. You made it look ugly. Go fuck yourself. I don't know what to tell you.
Right?
It's private property. The problem is we're getting further and further away from the idea of private property. Like, but my home value could go down. Hey, you should sell it quick, fucker. There you go. Take care of it.
Of course not. And I'm worried about that because there are some great things about that. There were some not so great things, but I'll be honest, the people that are trying to control to get rid of the not so great things, they're also doing that as a massive Trojan horse to censor and control discourse on the internet and to have a effective lever that they can pull in the future if they need to shut down a certain type of conversation. You're already seeing this in the UK, which right now is one of the worst Western offenders. And I think that entire ideology is going to be exported to the rest of the West and the rest of the world, as it already has been in some places like China. And so I don't want to see that happen.
You think censorship was exported to China?
I don't think it needed to be. I'm pretty sure they had already mastered that one.
I think you might want to go back to the 40s and start reading about China around then.
Yeah, about that fella Mao.
Is that what he's... I'm sorry, I gotta...
Seeing this in the UK, which right now is one of the worst Western offenders. And I think that entire ideology is going to be exported to the rest of the West and the rest of the world, as it already has been in some places like China.
Yep, that's what he said. The kind of censorship you're seeing in the UK has been exported to China. Oh my God.
Yeah, I think he just doesn't know a lot of history, and he's going off what he's been told.
This guy is ignorant. Yes, Tyrai, in the actual meaning of the word ignorant, he just doesn't know. If you think the Western world has exported censorship to China, you're just wrong.
Yeah, that is some propaganda from the left, man.
Oh, China was free until Britain decided to tell people they can't say gay on the internet.
Well, the USSR would have worked if it hadn't been for all the sanctions the US put on them. Remember?
Yes. Oh, God. All right.
And so I don't want to see that happen. And I wanted to make this video and spread awareness and let you guys know what's going on. I'm busy today. I've got a lot of stuff.
He's wrapping up, so I don't care about the rest of this. You didn't spread awareness. You spread ignorance, my friend. And I don't blame you for it. I think you need to get educated before you talk about stuff like this. And you should probably sit down and think about your ideas for a while before you share them. I like to respond off the cuff, Jack, but I have a lot more historical relevance to pull from than he clearly does.
Yeah, I don't necessarily fault him for that. He's fairly new at the political stuff. But he does need to learn before he talks about it.
Yeah, I do fault him for speaking without knowing and for his glaring lapse in logic. Holy shit. The especially when you're talking about like social media and COVID, which he brought up COVID a couple of times. We know it was the government reaching out to these companies going, hey, don't let them say this on your platform. The Biden administration was doing that. And you want to sit here and pretend, no, see, you can't trust the companies because of COVID. Fucker, what did the government do during COVID? Their hands aren't clean here. What are you talking about? If they're going to make it so you have to verify your age to go on a certain site or whatever, Jack, I think the site should be, I think we should treat it like we do bars. The site's responsible for it, so they got to check your ID when you come in.
Yeah.
I don't think having a third-party token, all you're doing there is introducing an entirely new group to fuck over your private information. Oh, they won't keep it. How do you know? YouTube says they don't keep your information. Every site says we don't keep your information. They all do it still. Oddly enough, they don't keep my information, but I get ads for something I saw on site X or Y.
Yeah, or stuff I've talked about.
Mm-hmm. This is true. Me and Lady Monkey have had conversations in our house, just the two of us, neither of us online. And then later that day, I start seeing ads for something we talked about on Google.
Do you have like Alexa or anything?
I have my phone, which is a Pixel.
Oh yeah, well there you go.
She's got an Apple, and it does the same thing. They're listening, you guys.
Of course they are. They're never going to admit to it, but they totally are. Real quick, thank you, Okie Native. If we're going to be exporting our modem updated or modern updated censorship to the backward land of China, who doesn't know about such things? They should send us a select group of 18 to 35-year-old fertile females in exchange with a side of egg rolls. I like the way you think there, Okie. And I would volunteer to help acclimate them to the ways of the Americans, especially in the ways of our sensual loving.
I don't want any dirty commies over here, even if it means you get laid. No offense, my friend. Leave those damn commies where they are.
What if instead of them sending us Chinese women, they send us South Korean women?
Still too close for my liking.
Japan? Thailand?
Japan you can have.
Okay. I'll take some Japanese ladies. Although that might be a problem since China and Japan have a little bit of a history. But we'll work it out. We'll work the details out in negotiations.
All right, Jack, on our screen is the picture that came out with the leaks from the T app that Asmongold was talking about and that we haven't yet. The T app, as I said...
Hold on. I don't think you should be allowed to use the word cum in association with the T app.
I'm not sure where I said it, so...
You said that the images that came out.
Oh. You interrupted me for that bad joke?
Yep. I do that every time we are on. What are you talking about? That's like my entire value on this show.
Oh, dear God.
Misfit.
For those of you who weren't here earlier, the T app is an app that some really angry, ugly bitches came up with so that they could talk shit about men that they had dated and put red flags on them for treating them like the pump and dump that they were, basically, Jack.
Well, when you're a dirty hoe and you're on some hookup site and you go and put out for a dude and he ghosts you, what did you expect was going to happen? Seriously.
Can we talk about that? I've seen so many women complain that, like, I'm on Tinder all the time and I just haven't found the right guy yet. How many of you let get in there?
Well, it tends to be a circus of value.
It's one of those things how we talk about like where people from the West don't understand like Islam and countries that are, religious fanatics and stuff. Women don't understand men. So you go on to Tinder thinking, I'm looking for the love of my life. And he's on there thinking, I'm going to hit it and quit it. Because guys are looking at it as, now I'm not saying all men, because I'm sure some of you out there are like, no, I was looking for real love. The majority of guys on there are not on there looking for their soulmate. They're looking for their release. And
well, that was a little more disturbing than it's usually around here.
when you're going on a hookup app, you're not at church trying to meet somebody. You're on an app for a guy to try to put his wiener in you. That's his sole objective. And when you let him do that after he buys you a frappe, what do you think he's going to do? He might call you back when he's got money for another frappe, but you ain't wife material.
No, you're for the streets, you dirty hoe.
It's Kevin Samuels, that one chick. I will never forget her. I've hooked up with a bunch of really wealthy basketball players, but none of them will stay with me because you're a whore.
Yeah, what'd you expect, you stupid slut?
I let all these guys pump in me, and not one of them wanted to be baby daddy.
Yeah, because you're a good time girl. Guys don't want a good time girl.
No, because she's going to bang your friends when you're at work.
Yeah, if she hasn't already.
Don't spread your legs on a first date. I agree with that. I do. I know that's old-fashioned. It's not about old-fashioned. The guy's objective with dating, even if you're like, oh, one day he might want to get married, the objective is to get in the knickers. I want to put it in you. And if you let me do that right away, then I I don't have a reason to stay around. I know you look, we're not supposed to say this, Jack. No, it's all about love. As a hopeless romantic, this shouldn't be a notion in my head, but reality exists.
What?
And if he can get laid without having to put up with your ass, he's gonna. Monk, you were talking about a lot of cute stuff. Haha. Everything I talk about is cute because it comes from my cute mouth. I have a pretty mouth. Oh, wait.
Yeah, you better be careful with statements like that, buddy.
I do have a pretty mouth. I would not do well in prison. I am way too pretty for it. I got long eyelashes and shit. No. Anyway, the dirty whores on the screen are some of the ladies who hooked up or who went on to this T app. And in order to go onto the T app, you have to verify that you're a woman. And the way you do that is by giving your ID. And somebody broke into their system. I haven't heard how the hack was accomplished because most of the time when we hear hack, it's like the DNC hack wasn't a hack.
Yeah.
It was a phishing expedition. They sent some idiot at the DNC a note that says, I work for IT, spelled ITT. And
the Technical Institute.
I need your PASWERD so I can fix our system. And some fucking retard at the DNC went, oh, my password is 12345. That's what phishing is. Nobody who needs your password needs to ask you for it.
No, because the IT guys always just roll their eyes at you like, dude, your password. Come on, shut up. Nobody. This goes for every bit of your internet life, whether it's your computer at work, your computer at home. Nobody who would need your password needs you to give it to them. Keep that in mind, and you will not have a phishing problem. So anyway, we don't know how this happened, but somehow somebody got into their system and leaked the entire thing. Leaked all of the information, which included all of these girls, including their pictures here. But how dirty is this app to begin with? I suggested on Twitter, Jack, that I was going to start my own app for men who had a bad experience for women called Hot Dog Hallway. And I still want to do that. And I'll let... Exposing the trollops everywhere.
You don't even have to give me your ID. You can just come on because it'll be funny. But if we did that to women, there would be outrage. There was no outrage about this when the story broke. There was no news stories like, oh my God, I can't believe women were doing this to men. Because it's just expected that men are shitty and need to be told on, Jack.
I mean, yeah, that's what they keep telling us.
How many men out there right now got women raising babies they don't know aren't theirs? Anyone? But men are the ones you have to worry about. Them fucking men. You're raising...
I actually saw a video about that earlier. There's a new law, and I think it was Tennessee, where maternity fraud is going to be treated as a crime. Yes.
And I support that 100%.
Yeah. We need to have that instituted, as well as mandatory DNA testing before the birth certificate is signed by either parent.
Digi says too many. No, listen to what I said. How many men have women raising babies that they don't think are theirs? I mean, that the men trick the women into thinking the baby was theirs. That doesn't happen. It can't happen.
Well, I mean, you were in a coma for 8 years, honey. And you had a baby.
There's tons of women out there that got men raising babies, and the man thinks that hey, those are my blue eyes. Wait, I have green.
Wait,
no, brown and blue together make green. Yeah, that law. I saw a video. I think it was an Asmongold video talking about this. Because there's women all over pissed off. I don't know if it's true. I hope it is. But that Trump is changing it so that if you pay child support, you get to claim the child on your taxes.
That's the way it should always have been. You're the one paying for the kid.
I disagree. I think it should be if the woman is a man and woman get divorced, and we'll do this so that people can't call me a sexist. The man has custody of the kid, and the woman has to pay child support, right?
Uh-huh.
If the man is still working too, then I think the credit for that child should be split between them. If she's the only one working and paying child support, then she should get all of the credit for the child. But if both of them are working, then I think it should be split down the middle. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, that's not unreasonable. It's just how often do we see it where the woman isn't even working and she's collecting child support and just living on that?
And in those cases, absolutely, he not only should he get to claim her, the child, he should get to claim her still too.
Yeah, I agree. Real fast. Thank you, Evolved Potato. Just to clarify what happened, the place all of these images were stored, it was completely unprotected. You just had to put the contact URL into the search bar and you get access to everything. So I thought that's how it was, but because that's even more ludicrous than like a phishing scam.
So they didn't even. Oh my God!
Yeah, it was completely unprotected.
Wow. Wow. And they had that page so easily guessed.
Yeah, it was probably like ID.com, you know.
There are a lot of hidden pages on websites you never see, and they have a name that you would never guess. Because typically it tends to be a numeric value rather than a name for that thing.
Yeah.
And these guys didn't even do that, son of a bitch. Wow. These women were dumb. But I mean, I think you got to be a little dumb to use this kind of app anyway.
Well, I mean, they are getting sued by quite a lot of people already. So I would say the brain power was not there from the beginning.
If I know one thing about women, it's that when they get with a new man and the old woman comes along and goes, "Hey, girl, don't trust him. He beat me." The new woman's going to go, "Bitch, you probably deserved it. He ain't never touched you." They never side with the chick who's got a black eye and 3 babies telling him, "Hey, he's a bad guy." And for the record, the same happens with men. A dude with a new chick and her old boyfriend, that bitch fucks everybody. Pfft, you lying about her. She's sweet to me. Yeah, where is she? She says she had to go to guitar practice, but she don't even own a guitar. We get really stupid when we first get into a relationship. So even the idea behind this wouldn't make sense. The only reason for this to exist is for people to just go defame people. Or maybe it's real. Some of the guys, I'm sure, were assholes, Jack.
Yeah, probably. But why were they? I mean, these women still picked them.
This isn't going to stop the next woman from going out with that guy because she's going to be like, "Oh, she just a bitch who's sad that he broke up with her." Because that's how the new relationship brain works. People ignore all the. He's running down the street in his underwear with the machete, and she's like, "He's so crazy." That bitch lying about him. So even from a logical perspective, it doesn't accomplish anything other than letting these harpies get. How about a message board about your bad relationship where you don't have to name the guy? Just go do that, and we'd all read it and laugh. For how much stupidity you put up with before you finally came to your senses. That I have no problem with that, Jack. You want to go anonymously talk shit about people you dated? Knock yourself out. I don't care.
Yeah, but I don't know. Put the real names out there and effectively slandering men because they didn't call you back because you're a hideous wildebeest or whatever. Seems a little bit stupid.
And none of these, I guarantee you, not one of them went, I was kind of a bitch to him.
Yo, they never say that.
I don't think I've seen a relationship break up where one side was just perfect to the other person, right? Everything they wanted that person to be, they were them. They never made a single mistake in their relationship. But if you listen to breakup stories, the person telling it is always the saint. You ever notice that?
Yeah, it's sadly very common.
Which brings me to something else I wanted to talk about. I saw a tweet today that annoyed me from a woman, because of course. And it's this notion that I don't want to ruin it. I'm waiting for it to come up. We're on the AT&T, so it goes a little bit slower. But the way that it's written, I think you may have seen it, but I want to get the audience's unvarnished reaction to it.
Yes.
Dude, don't read the whole thing, guys. Don't read the whole thing. Just read the top. It says, if a girl says, do whatever you want. Okay, you can't open it that way because I don't know. I can't speak for the rest of you men out there. When I read this, my immediate thought was put it in her butt.
That's what I thought too.
Right? But it goes on to say, do not do what you want. Stand still. Do not blink. Do not answer. Don't even breathe. Just play dead. The very specific do whatever you want is you and your wife or you and your girlfriend are arguing about what you guys are going to do. She wants you to do something. You don't want to do it. Or you want to go do something and she doesn't want you to go do it. Do whatever you want. That's the actual context they meant here.
Yeah.
Don't write it like the start of a porn movie, okay?
Right? Like, you put a picture of a pretty girl like Angelina Jolie and be like, do whatever you want. You're
Right.
opening
Look
it
at
up
those...
to like some fanfic shit.
If you look at the way she's looking right there, that could either go, she's going to kill you, or she wants you to treat her dirty.
A little from column A, a little from column B.
She wants you to call her names that she would never let her dad know you called her.
And while she calls you daddy, ironically.
What bugs me about this, though, is that last one. Don't do what you want. Guys, if you're in that situation, and look, I'm going to use one of my examples, Jack. I'm going to go play golf. Lady Monkey's always been nice about letting me go play golf. She's actually encouraged me to go when I wasn't even thinking about it. Apparently she wanted me to go away.
Yeah. She's like,
and I would worry about that.
She's like, go outside and play.
Yes. And she would do this when the kids, it's not like she was trying to get alone time or anything. No, the kids were home. She's like, you need to go away. Okay. But a woman's like, let's say you want to go golfing. And she's like, I don't want you to go golfing. You're like, but I really want to. So, fine. You do whatever you want. Then you go golfing.
Yeah. It's not a trick. Well, they're trying to trick you into doing what they want, but that doesn't work on most men because we're like, oh no, permission.
It does work on most men because of this nonsense, because everybody knows what that, you better not do it.
Oh, that's sad. That should not work at all.
Stop letting women blackmail you and act childish. It's the same thing. Yeah. Like if a woman says fine, she's not fine. She may not be, but you treat her like she's fine. And when she can grow up and talk like an adult, then you engage.
Yeah. Like this is some childish pettiness, petulant, spoiled brat behavior.
Somebody on Twitter responded to my comment on this with RIP Monkey or something to that effect. Like, ask Lady Monkey how saying do what you want works with me. I'll be like, right, fuck it. I'm gone. Bye. See ya. Oh, did you not want me to go? Because you should have said that.
Yeah, you should have led with that one.
Because if you're pulling this childish bullshit, I would accept. I don't want you to go. I just want to be near you today, because that's at least endearing. And she's being, I want to spend time with you. I might not want to spend time with her, but I can put that up. But if all you can do is childish bullshit, Monkey don't play that shit.
No, that's not the sign of a healthy relationship either, to have that kind of like pettiness pulling one side's weight. That I don't like that
But
crap.
but look, can you imagine if this was reversed? If a man says, "Do whatever you want," don't do what you want. They'd be like, "That controlling motherfucker."
Fight the patriarchy, something.
It's amazing to me when we recognize controlling behavior. I was watching an episode of House with Lady Monkey, and Wilson was losing his shit about how House, all you ever do is manipulate people. But if you actually watch that show, Wilson and Cuddy, the chick,
Mm-hmm.
they manipulate the fuck out of him. At one point, even convinced him he didn't cure somebody he cured.
Yep. He thought they died.
But he's the manipulative one.
Yeah, everybody that calls him manipulative is just as manipulative
Yes.
as him. Especially by the end of the series, like Cameron, the sweet doe-eyed innocent girl at the beginning, she's just as manipulative by season 3 as anyone else.
Yep. But people only see manipulation when it's happening to them. When they're doing it, or in this case, when women do it, it's fine. We're supposed to just accept it. If men do it, oh my God, I can't believe he's controlling you, girl. You can't let him control you, girl.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
You ever notice that most of the people that say that are single?
Mm-hmm.
Weird, isn't it? It's almost
Or
like
in their
they're a
own
bunch of
bad
people.
relationship.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're all... Anybody that says that shit, like, don't let him control you, is usually the product of a bad relationship.
Yeah, nobody
They've been
says...
in a bunch of them, or they're currently in one.
No one happy is out there saying that.
No, unless there's abuse involved, where they're like, yeah, your boyfriend's super controlling, you need to get out. That's different.
But I only wanted to bring this up because I really do want you guys to not let people manipulate you like this. That is not healthy.
No,
That's bullshit. They have the vagina, and I know you want to touch it again, but I promise you, if you keep falling for this kind of stuff, in a year or two, somebody else will be touching it anyway.
Yeah, because they're going to cheat on you, and that relationship is not going to last. It's unhealthy.
You know?
Sorry, I didn't mean to hit play. Keep going.
No, that's all I had.
Oh, okay.
It's just unhealthy.
We're going to finish on the gargoyle tonight because this one is just funny. Have you seen this video, Jack?
Yeah, I think I did.
You know,
He's looking
it
creepier.
keeps
He looks like what? I'm sorry.
He's looking creepier every day.
Well, he's taking his true gargoyle form. My birthday's the 5th. Hit me up on your birthday. I will sing to you.
You know, it keeps getting worse. Today, Donald Trump and the White House announced they're going to spend $200 million to build a large, fancy White House ballroom. This is what those was all.
By the way, they're building this large ballroom because right now, to have big events at the White House, they have to set up tents on the White House lawn.
Yeah, the White House has needed an expansion for quite a while. I mean, they gutted it under Eisenhower to upgrade some stuff, and that was the last time they did major renovations.
Well, he's acting like it's a big mega ballroom. Those are not like tents that you get for your wedding. They're tricked out tents. There's a whole industry, a tent industry for this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, remember the ones that were set up in New York for the COVID, the influx of COVID dying patients? They were like air conditioned and shit.
Yep.
What
Did he say effing? Yes, he actually said effing. $200 million effing dollars is what he said.
To build a large, fancy White House ballroom. This is what Doge was all about, folks. Cutting things, taking things away from you, and not giving it to some place that needed it, giving it to the big shots who run the show, Donald Trump at the top of the list.
They cut the Doge money so they could spend $200 million on a White House ballroom. Except all of the money for this is private. It's donations from private donors and Donald Trump himself that is paying for this. Not only is he not spending the Doge savings, he is donating a $200 million room to the United States.
Okay. Are they going to call it the Trump ballroom? Because they have to.
I hope so.
Because
But-
then he'll be like, he has to host the first inaugural ball there and be like, I've got big balls. I've got the biggest balls of them all.
Chauncey says future presidents still get to use it. Exactly. It's not like Trump, when he leaves, he's going to take the ballroom with him.
It's mine. You can't have it.
And technically it is. He's the one paying for it. This isn't coming out of the, this isn't like when Chucky's voting to give himself a raise. It's not coming out of the tax coffers. This is a donation. But this little lying piece of shit, that is, by the way, you have to dig down in the stories about this to find out that, yeah, this is being funded, which, by the way, they announced when they announced that they were going to start building. They're going to start building in September, Jack.
Oh, that's cool.
You have to dig down, but all of them say that the money is coming from private donations. This piece of shit just blatantly lied. Although, if you pay attention, he doesn't really lie, because he doesn't say that they're spending any taxpayer money. He just said this is what Doge is for, to give that money to rich people.
That's such a shitty lie, man.
It is, yeah. And such an easily disproven lie.
They're so desperate.
He's making a ballroom with your money. No, he's not. You did give my money to trans ballerinas in Bolivia. But yeah,
I wish that wasn't true.
you totally care about how my money's spent, you piece of shit. Oh, I hate these fucking people, man.
I know.
On that note, we are going to wrap up here. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you for the donations. You guys are so kind. Jack, anything you want to show out?
Yeah, I'll drop a link. I did post a new patron early access video for Grave of the Vampire, but Sharkenstein went live yesterday, my review on that, so I'll drop the link to that.
Whether you're new around here or old hat, we really do appreciate you coming out no matter when we do these shows. You guys are amazing, and I love you for it. Jack, thank you for joining me, my friend.
Always glad to be here.
Guys, take care of yourselves. We love you. We'll see you on the next one. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.
I feel like I should sing about ballroom, but I'm not gonna.